We all want crystal clear pond water. I would like to share with you guys and girls just how easy it is to achieve. And best of all, it doesn't need to be expensive. All the filters I'm about to show you cost under $50. Keep watching and I'll teach you the 3 most important things to do to create an incredibly effective pond filter. But first, let me show you some examples of my homemade pond filters. The filter on this pond is made using a 100-litre round tub. I connected the filter to a little urn that spills into the pond. I think it looks pretty cool. This one's using a square storage container. It holds about 50 litres. It's made from food-safe plastic. This one's been operational for about 3 years now, and that water quality is just incredible. This one here is the filter for my native fish pond. Here I've used another round container. This one's the full drum and it holds 220 litres. Here the filter overflows into a small stream and that feeds the pond. This pond's almost 12 months, so it's not fully established, but the water quality is still pretty impressive. In this pond I keep a few Murray rainbow fish, as well as some southern pygmy perch that are breeding. This one's a small wine barrel pond, so sitting above the pond I've just got another food safe storage container. This one holds about 30 litres. I've got white cloud mountain minnows in this pond. I started with 7 and it's just chock-a-block now. Even so, the water clarity is pretty darn good. So how do you build your own? Well, let me show you. The first thing you need is a container. You want to make sure that it's fish safe. When buying plastic containers, I'm looking for things that are food safe. If it's safe for human food, it's safe for fish. Now, it also doesn't need to be plastic. For bigger ponds, you're going to want a bigger filter than a plastic tub can give you. So then you could use pond liner. I recommend EPDM. It's just thick and durable. If you don't like the look of the containers, you could use ornamental pots. They look great. You just have to get one big enough, but they're pretty good for small ponds. So in terms of size, whatever you use, you want it to hold at least 10% of the volume of the pond. And you can upsize it to 25% if you want heaps of fish, if you want to overstock the pond. So for the actual design, there's the 3 things that we want the filter to achieve. Number 1, we want to remove solid material from the water. That'll be fish poo, decomposing plant material, and uneaten food. Number 2, the water has to move slowly and evenly through the filter. This gives the bacteria time to work their magic. And the third thing we want to do is make it easy to remove all that waste that's going to build up in the bottom of the filter. So those are the 3 things that we want to get out of the perfect filter. Now, there's heaps of ways that you can achieve this. I'm just going to show you 2 of the ways that I build mine. You can do them any other way as long as you achieve those 3 goals. So this is the design for my larger ponds, like the native fish pond. So first I pump the water into the bottom of the filter. You can run the pipe directly through the filter wall using a bulkhead or uni-seal. This is a bulkhead fitting. This is a uni-seal. Both will create a watertight seal. Quite often though, I just bring the pipe work up and over the container wall. I can disguise it later with some plants or some rocks. So from there, the water percolates up through the bottom of the filter, moving through the rocks and the gravel. The rocks and gravel are providing the perfect habitat for the beneficial bacteria. These guys are actually what cleans the water. The water then exits the filter. Here you do need to make a hole in the wall, so you will need to use the bulkhead or the uni-seal to create that watertight seal. Plants can be planted directly into the rocks and gravel. This will help trap solid material and remove nitrate, which is a byproduct of the beneficial bacteria. This will eliminate the need for water changes. I prefer to use shallow-rooted plants in the filter. Bacopa and Impatiens are two of my favourites. The plants actually only provide 10 to 20% of the filtering. It's the bacterias that do the vast majority of the work. As the water moves up through the rocks, gravel and plant roots, the solid materials fall out and will accumulate on the bottom of the filter. To make the water move evenly through the filter, I like to create a void space at the bottom. This can be milk crates or large pipes, just anything to create that void and let the water spread out evenly. If it's a shallow filter, like in one of those square containers, then I'll drill holes along a dispersal pipe to help spread the water out evenly across the bottom of the filter. What the dispersal pipe or void space does is it helps to slow the flow of the water. This further allows the solid waste to fall out of the water. It gives the beneficial bacteria more time to work their magic if that water is moving slow. I do have a video explaining the ideal flow rates through these types of filters. I'll put a link up the top here and one in the description if you want to check that out. It's ideal to position large rocks around the pipe or on top of the void space and get smaller and smaller as you get closer to the top. This is going to help prevent the small rocks from clogging the void space or the pipe. To remove the accumulated solid waste, I like to add a valve at the bottom of the filter, so then I can just open it up and it forces all the muck and gunk out just through gravity. You can attach a hose to the valve and it can be used onto the garden. The nutrient-rich water's fantastic for veggies. Of course, you will need to drill a hole in the container to put the valve down the bottom. Again, I use a bulkhead or a uni-seal. I do have a full video showing how this ponds filter was made, which is how I've just described. I'll put the link up here somewhere again and in the description, so you can have a look at that one as well if you want to check it out in more depth. The other style that I've created is very similar, but in this one you only need to drill one hole for the filter, but the filter has to sit above the pond. Here the water is still pumped into the bottom of the filter, but I have a protective guard around a vertical pipe. The guard keeps the rocks out and the vertical pipe keeps the solids at the bottom, but of course it still forces the water over the top, so it has to run through all the rocks. I do have a full video on how this one was built as well and how I maintain it, so I'll put some links in and you can check those out. It's probably easier than going all the way through it here. Now you could buy canister filters or all-in-one pump filter combos, even expensive pond kits. I've tried them all, and so far for me nothing beats these cheap and easy do-it-yourself filters. If you'd like to see me build one of these filters from scratch, give the video a like. If it gets to 100 likes, I'll make a video showing exactly how I make one. My channel is all about creating easy to maintain ponds without spending a fortune. If that interests you, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, take care. Bye.